Yo, what is up, guys? It's Sky here with your Week 2 match for the Regional Elite Draft League. This week we're fighting TB and his Honest. The TB Honest, and he has a super spooky team. Let's do the team builder for that, so you can know like what he has, and then what I have, and like what I'm bringing on my team, so that way I might be able to beat him. That's why we're doing this video. So his team is Salazzle, Zygar 10%, Thunderous Eye, Cobalion, Mimikyu, Hitmon Top, Gyarados, Mega, Gardevoir, Serena, Piloswine, and Audino, with Thunderous Eye as his Z-move user. And then before I start talking about what our team is, we actually did make a free agent. We draw the Chandelure for Rotom H Heat because we want defoggers, because that's cool, because I like defoggers. We also traded Avalugg for Cryogonal because we could, and Cryogonal is faster, and so that means it's a more reliable spinner. True story. So our new team is Mega Lopunny, Swellow, Alolan Ninetales, Virizion, Cryogonal, Haxorus, Landorus T, Rotom H, Melodic, Alolan Mutt, and Bronzong, with Lando T still as our Z user. So, looking at his team, I don't expect him to bring the Audino because I feel like it just kind of lets Mega Lock come in for free. It kind of lets Ninetales get Veil for free. It kind of lets Lando's T set up on it for free. It kind of lets Virizion set up on it for free. I just don't think it's that great. I don't really, and I also didn't really expect the Serena because I didn't feel like it had a super amazing matchup. It beat the Milotic, I guess, and then it's kind of like bulky and crap. But I feel like kind of like Ninetales sets up Veil on it for free. Virizion sets up on it for free every time. And then Lando T and Haxorus kind of set up on it for free too, especially under Veil. And then I also have the Rotom H now too, which can switch into it super easily, and then even offensively, if Rotom H kind of just runs through him. So I didn't expect the Serena or the Audi. I 100 expected the Zygar 10% because I don't have a switch into it. 100% expected the Thunderous Eye because, like, just a setup set, like, I have no switch-ins to, and even then, like, as priority T-Wave, which is super good against, like, my super offensive team, like Haxorus or Lopunny and that kind of crap. And I 100% expected the Piloswine, because end of T, so you kind of just have to bring it, and it's also just that in general. And then I think Mimikyu is super likely. I'm not expecting a DD set as much as I am like a bulkier set, or especially one with like Willow and stuff, so that we can like throw out Willows and crap. But so that's kind of what I'm thinking as I'm going into the prep. But anyways, let's get into my team. The first one I have on the team is Mega Lopunny because he has no switch-ins to this. His fighting resists are Thundy Eye, Mimikyu, and Gardevoir. Thundy Eye doesn't count. Mimikyu, it kind of counts if he runs like a bulkier set, and like Revenge if the disguise isn't broken, I guess. And then Gardevoir can be built to not get 2 KO'd. I think like if you run full Fizz Death leftovers and I don't have rocks up, it doesn't get 2 KO by return, I believe. But so the set we're running is actually Power Up Punch, Drain Punch, Return Quick Attack, and then I only speed prep the Salazzle. No, that's a lie. I didn't speed creep. No, I did speed creep the Salazzle. Excuse me. So anyways, Power Up Punch allows me to break through his bulkier mons that he might try to come in and check it with. But what it mostly does is it lets me pretty much OHKO his entire team with Drain Punch. And so what I can do is I can come and get a revenge kill with Power Up Punch or whatever, and then I just kind of Drain Punch, and he can't really one-hit KO me with anything easily. And then I outspeed everything on top of that. And then return for his like 3 fighting resists, but we don't count Thundy Eye. And then Quick Attack is so that way his Hitmontop can't punch me to death. I can just Quick Attack that first. Or alternatively, if he wants to come in with a Thunderous Eye, and try to T-wave me, I can just outspeed his own priority and then quick attack that as well. So yeah, that's the Lopunny set. I think it'll do a lot of work this game because it's Lopunny and it always does. The next mon is Alolan Ninetales because I like Alolan Ninetales. That's it. This week we're bringing a super word set. We're actually bringing Aurora Veil with Snow Warning, which I know after last week is kind of weird. We're actually bringing like a hail set. I know it's kind of non-standard, but I feel like he'll do a lot of work this game because I feel like Veil is super underrated and he's not going to expect it at all. So that's kind of the idea there. I'm also running a super weird special set. I know that Banded Ninetales is kind of the standard set, and I think that's what we'll prep hardest for is the Bandit Ninetales, so I'm going to try to throw him off with the Aurora Veil and the special set. I did have to keep the Ice Shard on there from its standard set, so that way I can take care of the Zygarde 10, because it does like 80%, and E-Speed doesn't kill me, I don't think. Even from a Bandit set, I only take like 80-ish or whatever. But if he thinks he's safe and he just goes for T-Arrows, then Ice Shard takes care of it, so we're good there. So yeah, this is a super weird Alolan Ninetales set, but I feel like he'll still do a lot of work. Moving on to the next set, we have the Lando T. And so this set does a ton of work once the Piloswine is weakened. It doesn't do a ton if he wants to bring a bulkier team with like the Gyarados and the Serena and the Audino and a Fizdef Gardevoir or whatever, because this doesn't quite have the immediate power to like OHKO everything. But if he brings a more offensive team, kind of like what I'm expecting, then this will do a whole ton of work. I didn't put like Fly or anything on this for the Serena because again, I didn't really expect that to come. Even if it does U-turn, I believe still KO's a non-HP invested set, but I could be wrong. And then I have the Yachi because Piloswine. It lets me take an Ice Shard, obviously, and then kill it. Or I believe if Veil is up, it lets me take 2 Icicle Crashes. And then obviously the Zygarde can probably revenge me with E-Speed, but it allows me to beat the Piloswine, which is pretty good for the rest of my team and just in general. I feel like this set will do a lot of work. The Intimidate is super good against like the Mimikyu and the Cobalion. Dual Dance Cobalion kind of destroys my entire team, which is one of the main reasons Lando T is on the team, because it checks it offensively. So yeah, the next set we got is our last setup sweeper is Haxorus. So Dragon Dance pretty much just straight up 6-0s him. I have Mold Breaker, so I don't even worry about Mimikyu's Disguise. And then this moveset hits pretty much everything super effectively. And the things it doesn't pretty much dies to +1 Dragon Claw. And so that's it. It's a super straightforward set. It has Lum because Thunder Size, I think, or it lets me stub on Mega Gyarados' Scalds. If he wants to bring Scald Mega Gyarados, I guess. But yeah. And then next set we have is Scarf Rotom H because I really need a Scarfer against this team, largely for the Mega Gyarados or just the Cobalion because Cobalion is scary. But Rotom H is mostly coming because of the Mega Gyarados. And I can Volt Switch out on anything. His 2 things that he wants to send in on the Volt Switch, on the Zygarde and Piloswine, don't like taking Will-O-Wisps, and if they do take a Will-O-Wisp, then that makes the matchup like 50 times easier for me, because the Zygarde and the Piloswine are his 2 scariest mons against me, defensively and offensively, respectively. And then Overheat is super spammable. He has pretty bad switch-ins outside of the Mega Gyarados and the Audino, I guess, but Audino is totally not going to come. And the Mega Gyarados doesn't really want to switch into Rotom Heat, especially one that has Volt Switch and Will-O-Wisp. And then last move, I just threw on HP Ice for the Zygarde 10%, so that way I can revenge that, which is the Zygarde 10% is another huge reason I had Rotom Heat, Scarf Rotom Heat on the team. So yeah, and then the last set we have is the Milotic. Originally this was a Swellow because he has 0 switch-ins to Swellow. That said, I felt like he would over prep for Swellow a lot, and I felt like he even had a lot of like natural answers to it. He had the Mimikyu, which if the disguise isn't broken could come in revenge. He has the Thunderous Eye, which can prankster T-Wave me. He has Zygarde at 10% with Banded E-Speed, or he has Hitmontop who can like fake out Mod Punch me down or whatever. He has like the Audino, which can take 2 or whatever. He has the Piloswine, which can Ice Shard me. So anyways, I just didn't like swallow a ton, and I was hoping he'd over prep for it, so I didn't bring it. So anyways, I switched it to Milotic, because Milotic is my best Zygarde 10% answer. It also helps me against like the Mimikyu and the Mega Gyarados. I debated a lot about putting Dragon Tail instead of Haze on this set, but ultimately Dragon Tail didn't hit Mimikyu, and if he's like any Mimikyu set ever, then he kind of just set up on Milotic, which wasn't cool. So Haze it is. The moveset is super standard. I'm not running the Flame Orb because I didn't like. If I had the burn and rocks damage that I was taking every time I switched this in, it didn't last as long as I feel like leftovers would. It's kind of a risk because with this spread, Zygarde does have a role, I think, to hit KO me with 1,000 arrows, but I'd rather risk that than have to take the burn damage every turn on top of rocks, and then I don't even have leftovers. And then if he tries to toxic me or whatever, and I get a Marvel Scale boost off anyway, then I have leftovers and Marvel Scale, so it works out anyways. So, yeah, that's the whole team. I'm hoping this Alola Ninetales set will throw him off, because I think he'll really over-prep for Banded Alola Ninetales, and so I think this will be able to actually just kind of run through him with the Aurora Veil support set. I also don't think he'll predict the physical Lando, because I think he'll over-prep for Calm Mind, because he loses to Calm Mind outside of the nothing. He has no answers to Calm Mind Lando. But so instead I'll bring the way worse set. I'll bring physical Rock Polish, and yeah, so that's the whole team. We'll get into the game, maybe, we'll see. This was a super long team builder. I'm sorry guys, I should try to keep these videos below 10 minutes because 20-minute videos are gay and nobody likes them. Nobody likes me, nobody watches these anyway. I'll probably just go back to text to speech anyway, so yeah. Hey guys, so we're here with our week 2 battle against TB and his Honest's. Looking at the lineup he brought, I expected pretty much everything except the Serena, because I really didn't think that had a great matchup, and so it kind of threw me off to see it here. Sort of looking at what he has, I expect the Piloswine and the Serena to kind of be bulkier mons that kind of deal with my offense, and then I expect the Mimikyu and the Cobalion to be set up. I banded Zygarde, and then like T-Wave, Pivot, Thundi for serve as support. So looking at Rotom Heat is a really safe lead. It beats pretty much everything 1v1 except the Zygarde, because I can just throw out a Willow against pretty much anything expecting the Piloswine to come in, or I could just Volt Switch out, but And so that's what we're going to do, is we're going to lead off Rotom as he leads off Serena. We're going to try to throw off a Willow here, but we missed, which is kind of disappointing because it means that this can sort of break through Melodic later on or whatever, and it's just more of a pain to deal with, but it's kind of whatever. He'll turn out and bring in Mimikyu here, which was a really odd play to me. I'm just going to stay in and Willow it anyway, because I see really no reason not to. Even if he's like a weird rest set, I still have Haze on my Melodic, so it's kind of whatever. So yeah, I just Willow out here, and he reveals Bulk Up. So what I do here is I'm going to switch out to Landorus, because I don't want to switch I don't want my Melodic to come in and have to take a +2 Wood Hammer, even from a Burn Mimikyu. So I'm going to go out to Lando, get the Intimidate off, and then U-turn so I can pop its Disguise. And then I'm going to go out to my... so yeah, here comes the Lando, as he bulks up again, which is kind of whatever. And then I'm going to U-turn. As he actually makes a pretty safe play, he just bulks up again, which I can still live the +2 Wood Hammer from this Mimikyu because it is burnt, but it's still gonna do a ton. So what I do here is I go for the Haze, and I actually outspeed, which is really weird because he basically has to be running like minus speed investment to get outsped by my melodic, because I have no speed on my lock, so that's really weird. So I haze as he just goes for play rough, and it does like literally 0, and it shows that he's not offense invested like whatsoever. So here I'm gonna make the neutral play in Ice Beam because it catches pretty much everything except the Cobalion, and Cobalion doesn't really beat Melodic whatsoever anyway, and so I'm just gonna Ice Beam. So that was a nice play on our part. Right here is kind of a 50-50. If he power whip, vine whips, whatever, I can live it depending on his investment, maybe. But what I really expect him to do here is to U-turn or knock off. If he U-turns, I don't really want to switch out to anything else because my logic beats pretty much everything else 1v1 except for this and the Thunderous. So if he's going to U-turn, my best place to just stay in. If he knockoffs, I don't want to lose my item on any mon whatsoever. I could go out to the Lopunny if I predicted a knockoff, but I still wouldn't like taking the damage, and he could predict that and go for a play rough or whatever. So my play here is as I'm going to stay in and just Ice Beam again and try to take this out, predicting him to just knock off or U-turn or whatever. And so even if he... And so he just power whips, and I live that, which is cool. And I Ice Beam, and I'm able to take out the Serena, which is pretty nice for my Landorus. But yeah. So here he brings out the Thunderous. I can't stay on this, so I'm going to go out to my dedicated answer, which is Rotom Heat, and he is going to reveal the Z Fly, which doesn't make a ton of sense to me why he would be Z Fly, or why he would even use it now. I guess it's for my Virizion or my Megaloth, I guess, but whatever, he does it, and cool. So we take that, super nice, because Rotom's pretty bulky, and it's resisted. So here I'm going to click the Overheat as he switches into Cobalion, which is, I don't really understand that play on his part. Literally the only reason you would make that play is if you expect me to HP Ice predicting the Zygarde to come in. And even if I'm going to predict the Zygarde to come in, I'm going to just Will-O-Wisp anyway because it also covers the Piloswine. So I don't really understand this Cobalion play, but he loses Cobalion, so cool. And then he brings out the Zygarde. I'm locked into Overheat and a -2, so I can't stay in on this. So I have two options. If he's Banded, my best play is to just sack off the Milotic. And if he's Dragon Dance, my best play is to go Landorus, Intimidate him. And then he's basically just at neutral, and then I can either set up on him or spam Earthquake or whatever. So I'm going to expect him to be Banded here, and I'm going to just go ahead and sack off my Milotic. As he actually Dragon Dances up here. So that's pretty bad for me, because that means it outspeeds everything now, even my Scarf Rotom Heat, and it basically has a ban. And he's getting 1,000 arrows here and revealed that it's also Life Orb on top of that. So he's basically Banded, Life Orb, whatever. So my play here is to go out to Landorus and Intimidate, because literally nothing else on my team lives a hit. So yeah. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to Rock Polish up in front of the Zygarde, because what it does is I kill him with Earthquake no matter what. So if I just Earthquake here, he can still go out to Thunderous and HP Ice me, or he can go out to Mimikyu and Will-O-Wisp me if he has that. But what I do if I Rock Polish here is I 100% force him to go out to Piloswine, and if he goes out to Piloswine, that means Ninetales can come in for pretty much free, and I can get my Veil, and then I can win with the Megaloth or the Haxorus or whatever. So when I bring in the Landorus, I'm going to Rock Polish up here. I'm not trying to sweep with it. So this is a play that confused a lot of people, is because I'm still Rock Polishing up while he has a full health Piloswine with Ice Shard in the back, but really I just want to force in the Piloswine. So he just hards into Piloswine directly, which means I can just go out to Ninetales on the following turn as he Icicle crashes, which is whatever, because I live that comfortably. So we're going to set for Veil here as he goes out to Thunderous, which is another play that makes no sense to me, because Thunderous doesn't do literally anything to Ninetales aside from Thunder Wave it, which he does, or he defogs the Veil. But even if he defogs the Veil, he's basically sacrificing his Landorus to get off a defog, and then pretty much whatever else he brings in, I can still set Veil on, because since Zygarde isn't banded, I can live pretty much any hit from it except Iron Tail. So I don't understand this play. He Thunder Waves, which doesn't make any sense to me why he would Thunder Wave in a Alolan Ninetales. The speed doesn't really make any difference to me whatsoever. I guess the Mimikyu outspeeds me now, and that's pretty much all that matters. But I'm just gonna Blizzard here because it's pretty much everything. If he wants to go Pillow Swine on the Blizzard, I could just go out to Lopunny or Heat the following turn and just win that way. But he just basically sacks off the Thunderous for no reason, which doesn't make any sense to me. He's gonna bring out the Mimikyu here, and then he's gonna double out to Pillow Swine, which makes absolutely no sense to me, but whatever. I think I tried to Blizzard again there because there was no downside to it for me, because Mimikyu can't do anything, and I didn't want to switch hard out to Lopunny or Haxorus or whatever in case if he was going to try Willow me as I switched out. So I just fire off and so what that means is I can just go out to Lopunny, because what that means is I can live 2 Earthquakes underneath Veil. So I take an Earthquake as I switch in, I take an Earthquake as I power up punch, and then I Dream Punch him, get all my health back, and then I think the plan is I basically just win from there. So the Earthquakes as I go off, I power up punch here, so that way I can OHKO pretty much everything. The Earthquakes again, which I still live because of Veil, and then I Dream Punch and dies. I've never seen a Pillow Swing die so quickly. And then I get all my health back. He goes out to Zygarde after this. Literally the only thing he can do is E-Speed me, even if he has it, which he doesn't. So I Drain Punch it, that dies, and then he just goes out to Mimikyu, which dies to a return. So yeah, that's the game, and we pick up a Week 2 5-0 against TB and his Honest, which is really good for me. It helps out my differential a bunch, and it also proves that even though my team is trashed and I'm sort of taking it a lot more chillaxed this season, I'm still here to play, and I'm still really good. So anyways, yeah, that's the second game in a row that Lopunny just straight up cleans for us. So there we go. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Remember to like, share, subscribe, dislike, unsubscribe, tell everybody that we have AIDS and we'll give you cancer. Bye.